Hi, friends. Day 2 of my new moon to new moon challenge to myself to find different pockets of time in my day to read. And I just finished my 10-minute pocket outside of my normal times for today and read a few pages out of my current read, The Weaver and the Witch Queen by Genevieve Gornichek. And I promised myself I'd find an extra 10 minutes in each day to read. And tonight turned out to be 15 minutes, and the story's getting so good. So this is good. Now I'm motivated to actually make sure that I get to bed early enough tonight that I will read a few more pages because I'm super engaged with where the story is right now. And as I mentioned in the last couple videos, I read another book by Genevieve Gornichek, which was The Witch's Heart, and I really liked it. And I think actually I'm going to end up liking this one even more. So let me read you guys the blurb because I don't think I've done that in any of the previous videos. I'm going to try to read the blurb through my phone screen. I don't really like when people make videos where they're holding their phone. I'm hoping that this isn't super shaky, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to annoy you like I get annoyed when people do this. All right, so Odny and Gunhild meet as children. Let me hold this with both hands. Try to keep it steadier. Okay, Odny and Gunhild meet as children in 10th century Norway, and they could not be more different. Odny hopes for a quiet life, while Gunhild burns for power and longs to escape her cruel mother. But after a visiting wise woman makes an ominous prophecy that involves Odny, her sister Signy, and Gunhild, the three girls take a blood oath to help one another always. When Odny's farm is destroyed and Signy is kidnapped by Viking raiders, Odny is set adrift from the life she imagined, but she's determined to save her sister, no matter the cost, even as she finds herself irresistibly drawn to one of the raiders who participated in the attack. And in the far north, Gunhild, who fled her home years ago to learn the ways of a witch, is surprised to learn her destiny seems to be linked to that of the formidable King Eric, heir apparent to the ruler of all Norway. But the bonds, both enchanted and emotional, that hold Gunhild and Odny together are strong, and when the women find their way back to each other, these bonds will be tested in ways they never could have foreseen in this deeply moving novel of magic, history, and sworn sisterhood. So that's about where I am in the story. They've found their way back to each other, and they're going to try to save Signy, who's been kidnapped. And the story is getting really good, so I'm so excited to read later this evening. And I remember when I started this book, I purposely didn't read the blurb. Sometimes I don't do that. Like I get the book based on the blurb, but then before I start reading, I don't reread it. So like sometimes there's kind of like some significant spoilers. So that was my first time reading the blurb since I bought the book. Anyway, I think I already showed you, but I'm on page 182. So I think I'm getting up to about halfway through. Okay, and then the other thing I thought I'd share with you guys this evening, this is my little stack for morning reads. And I made this promise to myself a while back that I would start to use my actual dictionary more. I mean, obviously, looking it up on your phone is faster and you have more definitions and, whatever. But then I fall down a rabbit hole and then I end up on my phone forever. And we're trying to get away from that here on my channel. I'm trying to lean back into the analog life. So I don't even know when I got this dictionary, but I'm pretty sure it's the dictionary I brought with me to college. I was a Spanish major, and so I always had lots of Spanish English dictionaries, including Spanish dictionaries that actually defined the word and not just tell you what it was in English. But anyway, for whatever reason, through all my moves and things, this is the dictionary I still have. And it brings me great joy to look up words in this instead of on my phone. And I usually do this in the morning. At night, I don't grab this and bring it in to read with me. But anyway, be that as it may, isn't it funny to think we used to have to look up all our words in this? And like, look, highly recommend. Like, how do you recommend a dictionary? But anyway, that's my trusty dictionary. And this is the book I'm reading in the mornings. Still loving it. Now I'm well more than halfway through, so I don't know when I'm going to finish it. I've been reading this since, I don't know, August maybe. And it's still so good and I love it. And that's my morning read. And then this is my journal, and I journal every day. And I love this. I think I showed you guys this already. This little notebook. These are my favorite notebooks to write in. The pages are nicely lined, and I put the here's where I put whatever the cycle of the moon we're in. So like, to this morning, it was like 1%, waxing crescent, the day of the week, and the dates. And then I usually just do one page for every day. And so my day starts with me writing in my journal with this specific pen, which are my favorite pens because they make my handwriting look nice. And then I read my book with my dictionary. And I always have a cup of coffee in the morning. And lo and behold, I have a cup of coffee this evening. Ta-da! Because, my friends, I can drink coffee up until about 15 minutes before I go to sleep, and it rarely has any effect on me. So, anyway, this was video 2, and if you want to join me, we don't have to make this super formal. Just see if you can find an extra 10 or 15 minutes in your day to read. And, if that does for you what watching my favorite booktube people here did for me, it'll help you get back in the swing of reading. Big shout out to my booktube friends here. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you to my 41 subscribers. Hopefully we get a few more of you over the coming weeks. And I'm going to let the video end for tonight. I hope this isn't too shaky. You can let me know. I won't do the handheld videos very much. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss out on making a video this evening on what is my second day of my challenge. So happy continuing to build moon, my friends. I will see you tomorrow for whatever video I decide to make then. Sleep tight. Adios for now.